England 1935. The summer sun lingers over the Tullis estate, a grand house surrounded by green fields and the illusion of perfection. Inside, the air feels alive with wealth, tension, and secrets. 13-year-old Bryony Tallis watches it all from a distance, a girl with a sharp imagination and a writer's hunger for meaning. She sees stories in every gesture, every glance, every sound that drifts through the house. But the story she's about to tell will destroy everything she loves. In the gardens, her older sister Cecilia moves with quiet confidence, elegant, restless, older by just enough years to belong to a world Bryony doesn't yet understand. Nearby, Robbie Turner, the housekeeper's son and a childhood friend, tends to the fountain. He and Cecilia share something wordless, a tension, years in the making, hidden beneath politeness. On that warm afternoon, a small misunderstanding blooms into something larger. Cecilia strips down to her slip, dives into the fountain to retrieve a shard of a broken vase, and climbs out wet, silent, furious. Bryony watches from her window. What she sees looks like a scandal, but she doesn't see love, she sees danger. Later, Robbie writes a letter to Cecilia, an apology, raw and honest. But in a careless moment, he gives the wrong version to Bryony, a draft filled with words she isn't meant to read, words that turn her imagination into fire. In her young mind, everything she witnesses begins to twist into a darker shape. She starts to believe Robbie is dangerous, predatory, deceitful. That night, the illusion shatters. Bryony's cousin Lola is assaulted in the darkness near the woods. Bryony sees a shadow running away, and in her panic, her imagination fills in the blanks. She claims it was Robbie. Without proof, without understanding, her words become truth. Robbie is arrested. Cecilia watches in silent horror, powerless against the force of Bryony's accusation. Their love, tender, real, and fragile, is crushed under the weight of a lie told by a child who wanted to be right. The years pass. The war begins. The world changes. Robbie, released from prison in exchange for military service, walks through the dust and horror of Dunkirk, fighting not just for survival, but for redemption. He carries with him the image of Cecilia, her face, her voice, her promise that they'll be together again. He believes that love can still outlast the damage of lies. Cecilia, now estranged from her family, works as a nurse in London. The war has hardened her, stripped away privilege, and left only resolve. She waits for Robbie, clinging to the hope that they can start anew when the war ends, far away from the house that destroyed them. And Bryony, now grown, begins to see the truth of what she's done. The sharpness of youth dulls under guilt. She becomes a writer, dedicating her life to understanding the power and cruelty of stories. She trains as a nurse during the war, hoping her service might cleanse some part of her sin. But nothing can rewrite what she set in motion. Years later, she finds Cecilia and Robbie again, or so it seems. She visits them, older, fragile, seeking forgiveness. They are together at last, living quietly, free from the past. Bryony confesses everything, her lie, her guilt, her lifelong remorse. She apologizes, but there's no real way to undo what she's done. And then, the truth reveals itself. The reunion never happened. Robbie died of infection at Dunkirk. Cecilia died soon after, in the London bombings. Everything we've seen, their peace, their happiness, Bryony's apology, exists only in the pages of her final novel. Her atonement is fiction, her forgiveness imagined. Her book becomes her only confession, her only way to give them the life they were denied. In the end, Bryony stands as an old woman, watching her story being celebrated as literature, not realizing that behind the praise lies the unbearable truth that words can destroy, and sometimes they can never make things right again. Atonement is not simply a love story. It's a tragedy about perception, guilt, and the irreversible consequences of misunderstanding. It shows how imagination, when left unchecked, can create entire worlds and ruin real ones. It's about the lies we tell to protect ourselves, and the stories we create to make peace with our sins.